Archangel Michael says, "My dear child, the final 2 minutes and 45 seconds of this video could become the moment that completely transforms your life. Stay with me till the end, and let your heart open wide to the special blessings I have lovingly prepared just for you. You are chosen to witness this rare miracle, and though the world around you may continue in its noise and movement, what is about to happen is only for your heart, your spirit, and your soul. Do not be afraid, for Jesus walks beside you now. He has not come to judge, nor to question, nor to remind you of your failings. He has come to hold your hand in silence, to stand in the middle of your weariness, and to whisper something sacred to your spirit that no one else can hear. This moment is not meant for others to see or understand. Type 1818 to claim miracles. In the stillness of your breath, when your chest feels heavy from all the burdens you've carried alone, and when no one seems to notice the quiet ache you've tried to hide behind smiles or silence, Jesus notices. He always has. And now, more than ever, He longs to show you something so beautiful, so deeply personal, that it will shift something in you forever. It may not be seen with the eyes, but your heart will recognize it immediately, because it comes from the place where heaven touches earth, and where God's love has already decided that you are worthy, no matter what anyone has ever made you feel. Archangel Michael stands watch near you, not in grandeur or loud trumpet calls, but in gentle presence. There are no words that need to be spoken, because in this divine silence, everything is already understood. You don't have to earn this moment, or try to be good enough for it. It is already yours, and it always has been. This miracle isn't something you stumbled into. It was prepared for you from the beginning, written into the story of your life by hands that only create with love. Like this video and subscribe to this channel if you believe God's plan is perfect. The world may try to tell you that miracles are loud and shining things, that they come with fire and sound, with flashes of wonder and applause. But that is not how Jesus works. The greatest miracles often unfold in silence, in tears that fall without reason, in peace that comes when it shouldn't, and in the warmth that enters a soul that had gone cold. Your miracle is not about spectacle. It's about transformation. It's about Jesus reaching into the hidden places inside of you, the ones you stopped believing could ever be touched by light, and saying, "Let me heal this." This is the miracle you are being given. And yes, it's rare, not because God is selective, but because so few are still enough to receive it. You are here. And you are ready, even if you don't feel it. Even if your faith is hanging by a thread. Even if hope feels too distant. Even if you've been hurt by things that wore the name of religion but never reflected the heart of God. None of that disqualifies you. In fact, it draws Him closer. What if you could unlock a secret brain wave that top scientists discovered inside the hippocampus, the very switch that signals wealth and abundance? Hidden from the public for decades, this breakthrough can rewire your mind to attract prosperity faster than you imagined. Picture the stress of bills replaced with financial freedom and new opportunities. Every delay is a missed blessing, and those who act now are already walking into the wealth you deserve. Step forward before the door closes. Click the link in the video description and comments below to activate this ancient money wave and step into abundance today. Jesus has always been near, even in the moments you felt abandoned. even when the prayers went unanswered and the nights were too long. He saw every quiet cry and every time you held yourself together when you were falling apart inside. You have never been invisible to him. Not for a second. And now, his eyes meet yours not with pity, but with pride, because through everything, you stayed. You endured. And even if your belief has been shattered and rebuilt 100 times, he knows how much courage it took to keep going. That is what makes you chosen. Type 1111 if you agree. So, if your heart is open, even just a little, this is where it begins. Not with thunder, but with a whisper. Not with lightning, but with love. A love so gentle, it won't demand anything of you. It will simply enter. And when it does, something will shift. You may feel warmth, or peace, or maybe a soft release of tears that you didn't expect. Let it come. Let it wash over you. There is nothing to fear. This is what heaven feels like when it comes quietly, just for you. Archangel Michael watches with kindness, not as a warrior here to fight, but as a guardian who knows the battle inside you has already been fought, and heaven has already won. You have been chosen not because of your strength, but because of your heart. Because even in the trembling, even in the doubt, something inside you still reaches for God. That is all Jesus ever needed. Archangel Michael says, you may not realize it, but something has already started changing inside of you. It might be small, so quiet you almost miss it, but deep beneath all the noise, a gentle light has begun to stir. This is not just a feeling or a thought, it is Jesus himself beginning to make space inside your heart, not with force or pressure, but with perfect patience. He knows your soul. He knows every chapter of your life, even the ones you keep hidden, and still, he chooses to love you completely. There is nothing about you that scares him. Not your pain, not your past, not your confusion, and not even your silence. He walks toward you with a kind of love that doesn't flinch when it sees the mess. He isn't waiting for you to clean yourself up or figure everything out before he steps in. He already knows where the cracks are, and he's not here to judge them, he's here to fill them with healing and light. That's the kind of miracle this is. Quiet, sacred, and deeply personal. Archangel Michael stands gently nearby, watching with a heart full of peace. There is no rush, no pressure. The miracle that was promised is not bound to a clock. It is unfolding within you, second by second, in the way your heart is beginning to feel held. This is how heaven touches earth, not with noise, but with grace. You are not forgotten, not overlooked. You have been chosen, and that choosing wasn't random. It was written into eternity long before you ever took your first breath. Jesus remembers every tear you cried when no one else was around to see it. He remembers the prayers you whispered in the dark, the moments when you were too tired to keep going but still kept breathing. Those moments, so small to the world, were mountains in his eyes. He was there. He has always been there. And he's still here now, closer than your skin, quieter than your thoughts, waiting to wrap you in the kind of love that never walks away. Type Amen if you believe. This love is not earned. It isn't given to the perfect or the strong. It's poured out freely, and the only thing you need to do is receive it. That can feel hard sometimes, especially if you've been taught to fight, to prove, to strive for everything. But Jesus is not asking you to be worthy. He is simply asking you to let Him in. To let Him hold what you've carried for too long. To let Him be the safe place you can finally rest. Archangel Michael leans close, not to speak words aloud, but to surround you with the peace of heaven itself. It may feel like stillness, or like a warm breeze inside your chest, or even just a deep breath that feels easier than the ones before. That is the miracle beginning to bloom. Not outside of you, but within. Not in what you can see, but in what you can feel when you're quiet enough to notice it. You were chosen for this moment, and no one else can walk through it for you. But you are not alone. Jesus will never leave your side. His love is patient enough to wait through every season, strong enough to carry every burden, and soft enough to touch every wound without making it worse. He does not love the perfect version of you. He loves you here, right now, exactly as you are, with nothing held back. You may wonder how something so small can be a miracle. But heaven never needed to shout to change the world. Some of the most sacred healings happen in silence. Some of the most powerful transformations begin with a single heartbeat of surrender. Let it be simple. Let it be quiet. Let it be real. And let it be yours. What if a simple 7-minute sound frequency could awaken a forgotten brain signal designed to pull wealth toward you like a magnet? Backed by shocking CIA files and neuroscience, this discovery is now changing lives everywhere. Think of debts melting away, promotions arriving, and abundance flowing freely. This is the one moment that can rewrite your future, but only if you claim it now, because hesitation will only keep you chained to the same struggles. Click the link in video description and comments below to experience the hidden wealth wa. This is what it means to be chosen, not to be lifted above others, but to be drawn close to the heart of God in a way that changes everything. You may never be able to explain it to anyone else, and you don't need to. This miracle was never meant to be shared in words. It was meant to be lived through your spirit, breathed out in the way you begin to feel whole again, even after everything that tried to break you. Archangel Michael says, "There is a reason heaven chose this moment for you. Every breath you take now is wrapped in divine intention, and though the world may not notice, something sacred is unfolding quietly inside your soul. The miracle you were promised is not a sudden flash of wonder, but a steady unfolding of grace that softens what life has hardened. You are standing at the edge of something holy, and even if you do not understand it yet, heaven does. Jesus stands before you, not as a distant savior on a throne, but as a gentle friend who knows the sound of your heartbeat. His eyes hold no judgment, only love deep enough to see you through every shadow you've known. You have carried many things that no one saw. The weight of unspoken pain, the fear of being forgotten, the exhaustion of pretending to be strong. But Jesus saw every moment of it. He has always been there, whispering through the silence, walking beside you when you felt alone, and holding you when you didn't even realize you were being held. His love is the thread that never breaks, even when your faith feels too thin to hold on. You have not been abandoned. You have been carried. Type 1818 to claim miracles. Archangel Michael moves near with a stillness that feels like peace itself. He guards the space around you, keeping the noise of fear and doubt far from your heart. His wings are not made of light for show, but for shelter. In His presence, there is no fear, no confusion, only calm. Heaven is not far away. It is right here, close enough to feel. This is the miracle, you realizing that God has never been distant. That His love has been waiting, patient and unwavering, for the moment you would finally believe that you are worthy of it. Jesus looks at you now with such tenderness that it could melt every wall you've built. He does not ask why you struggled. He does not count your failures. He knows the story behind every scar, and still, He calls you His own. His love does not depend on what you can give or prove. It simply is. It stays. It forgives. It heals. And when you let Him in, even for a second, something in you will begin to breathe again. There is power in surrender, not the kind that makes you weak, but the kind that frees you. When you let go of trying to control everything, when you release the need to understand or fix yourself, Jesus steps in with peace that makes no sense to the world. That peace does not mean everything outside you changes overnight, but it means that inside you, a new strength begins to rise. It's quiet but unshakable. It's gentle but unbreakable. It's His presence taking root in the soil of your soul. Archangel Michael smiles, for he knows what happens next. Once the light of heaven enters a heart, darkness loses its power. Once the truth of God's love takes hold, no lie of unworthiness can remain. You are chosen not to witness something distant, but to experience God alive within you. That is the miracle, His presence filling your spirit, His love rewriting the story you thought was finished. Every pain is being turned into purpose. Every wound is being covered in grace. Every broken piece is being shaped into something beautiful. You do not need to speak it aloud. You do not need to prove it to anyone. This is between you and heaven. What is happening now is sacred. It belongs to the quiet space where miracles are born, where hearts are healed, and where God reminds His children that they were never forgotten. This love is your home. This peace is your inheritance. This moment is your gift. Archangel Michael says, "The light that has entered your heart now begins to move quietly through every hidden corner of your being. It doesn't rush or demand attention, it simply moves like a gentle river, washing away the shadows that have gathered over time." Jesus stands beside you, patient and calm, as He watches His love begin to do what it always does, heal, restore, and bring life where pain once lived. There is no resistance in His eyes, no disappointment, only deep joy that you have allowed Him to come close. That simple willingness has opened the door to something eternal, something that can never be taken from you. Type 999 if you trust Jesus. There was never a moment in your life that was wasted in God's eyes. Every tear you shed, every night you felt too tired to keep going, every prayer that seemed to vanish into silence, all of it has been gathered by heaven. Nothing was forgotten. Nothing was ignored. Jesus was there through it all, holding the threads of your story together even when you thought everything had fallen apart. And now, as you stand in this sacred peace, He begins to show you that every broken piece was never meant to destroy you but to draw you closer to the one who could make you whole again. Archangel Michael watches as the light grows stronger. It is not the kind of light that burns or blinds, but the kind that warms you from within. It brings a stillness that the world cannot give, a quiet assurance that even in uncertainty, you are safe. This safety does not come from what you can control or predict, but from the simple truth that God has already gone before you. Whatever lies ahead is not unknown to Him. Every step of your path has already been seen and blessed. Even when you walked through valleys that felt endless, heaven was already preparing a way out. This is how God's love works. It never leaves you where it found you. It doesn't just comfort, it transforms. You may not see all the changes yet, but something in you is already shifting. The heaviness that once sat deep inside your spirit begins to loosen its hold. The bitterness that once felt permanent starts to fade into understanding. The fear that kept you small begins to fall away. Jesus is not just beside you, He is within you now, breathing new life into places that had long been silent. There is a beauty in this kind of stillness. It's not empty, it's full. Full of the presence of God, full of quiet strength, full of a peace that whispers, "You are safe now." And as that peace settles deeper, Archangel Michael bends low, his presence calm and protective, surrounding you in light. He knows that this is the moment when your heart truly begins to believe again, not because of something you saw, but because of something you felt deep in your soul. Heaven rejoices in silence, not in noise. The miracle that has begun inside you is not a story of sudden change, but of slow and lasting transformation. It's the kind of miracle that grows roots, that holds steady through storms, that stays alive long after the world stops paying attention. God doesn't need grand displays to prove His power. His greatest miracles happen in hearts like yours, hearts that dare to open again after being broken, hearts that still hope even when hope has been tested. What if the missing piece to financial success wasn't luck, but a hidden frequency inside your brain waiting to be switched on? Once activated, this ancient signal unleashes waves of prosperity, opening doors to opportunities you never thought possible. From sudden windfalls to long-awaited breakthroughs, it's transforming lives daily. Want to see how? Click the link in the video description and comments below to tap into the Money Magnet brain wave and begin your journey today. Others are already awakening this hidden signal and watching their lives transform. Do not be the one left behind while abundance passes you by. Jesus lifts His hand toward you, not as a command, but as an invitation. He invites you to walk with Him now, step by step, not rushing, not fearing. You don't need to understand the entire journey. You only need to trust that you are not walking it alone. Every moment from this one forward carries the blessing of heaven upon it. Every sunrise you see will hold new meaning. Every breath you take will carry a quiet reminder that you were chosen, loved, and never once forgotten. Type 2323 if you trust in God. Let this truth stay close to your heart. Let it move with you through your days. You are no longer the person who came into this moment uncertain and tired. You are now the one who carries light, who has seen what love can do when it is pure and divine. The miracle is alive within you, and it will continue to grow, bringing peace where there was pain, and faith where there was fear. Archangel Michael says, "The miracle you were chosen to receive is no longer something waiting to happen, it is now something living inside you, breathing alongside every moment you step into. It does not shout, it does not demand to be seen, and yet it is changing everything. What once felt empty inside your heart now begins to fill with warmth that doesn't come from the outside world, but from the nearness of Jesus himself. He walks with you now, not ahead of you or behind you, but right beside you, matching your pace, never leaving your side for a second. You don't need to chase after signs or search for proof, because the greatest evidence of his presence is already stirring inside your soul. It's the quiet peace that wasn't there before. It's the softness in your chest where there used to be tightness. It's the way your spirit feels like it can breathe again, even after being closed for so long. That is what love does. It unburdens, it softens, it restores what life tried to steal. And Jesus isn't just watching this happen from afar. He is holding it all in his hands and guiding every part of it with the care of someone who knows exactly what you've been through. Archangel Michael is still near, standing not as a distant protector but as one who cares deeply for your healing. His presence is firm but gentle, strong but quiet. He brings with him a sense of safety that doesn't need to be explained. You may not see him, but you feel the calm that surrounds you, the way fear doesn't sit as heavy as it used to, the way your thoughts seem to quiet just enough to hear your own heart again. That's how heaven draws close. It doesn't crash in, it rests gently upon you until it becomes part of you. Jesus smiles at you now with a love so deep, no human word could hold its weight. He sees you as you are, with every doubt, every scar, every unspoken hope still hiding in your chest. And still, he chooses you. Not because you've done something great, not because you've proven your worth, but because you are his. That's all it has ever taken. You were never meant to carry the burden of being good enough. His love was never about that. It was about grace. About mercy. About choosing you even when you didn't choose yourself. Type Amen if your soul rests in God, and share this video with 7 people of faith to welcome blessings and miracles into your journey. There is something sacred about the quiet path. The one where no one else sees the tears you cry, where your battles are fought in silence, and where your strength grows not from being loud, but from holding on when everything inside you feels like letting go. That path is not empty. It is holy. Because Jesus walks it with you. And now that you've welcomed him into the deeper places of your heart, he will never leave. That promise is eternal. Type 555 to receive miracles. Archangel Michael sees what's ahead. He knows the road won't always be easy, but he also knows that what lives inside you now cannot be shaken. You've been given something that storms cannot break, something that darkness cannot erase. The light of heaven lives inside you. It may not always feel bright, but it will always be there. You will not walk blind. You will not walk alone. Every step is watched over. Every tear is seen. Every prayer, even the ones that never left your lips, has been heard. Let this be a turning point, not because everything in your life suddenly looks different, but because now you see it with a heart that has been touched by God. You see yourself not through the lens of your past, but through the eyes of the one who created you in love. You don't have to chase healing anymore. Healing is already happening. You don't have to earn peace. Peace has already found you. There is a quiet kind of strength growing inside you now. One that will carry you through what's next. One that will remind you, when the noise returns and the world tries to make you forget, that you have already been chosen, already been seen, already been loved by the one who holds all things together. You don't need to explain that to anyone. This miracle was never meant to be shared with words. It was meant to be lived in the way your spirit rises from here on out, with hope, with courage, and with a heart wide open to the presence of Jesus. Archangel Michael says, "There is a calmness settling into your spirit now, not the kind that fades with time, but the kind that stays, quiet and steady, even when life moves around you. This calm is not something you created on your own. It is the peace of Jesus taking root inside of you, deep enough that no storm can uproot it again. The miracle you were promised continues to unfold, not in flashes of light or sudden change, but in the stillness of knowing that you are finally safe in His love. It is a safety that does not depend on what happens next. It is a safety that simply exists because He does. What if you discovered a tiny, walnut-sized brain region holds the secret to endless wealth and success? Recently uncovered by groundbreaking research and once buried in classified files, this frequency is now available to anyone ready to listen. Imagine replacing worry and struggle with a life of financial ease and freedom. Interested? Click the link in video description and comments below to unleash this hidden brain wave and start attracting wealth right now. You have been guided to this message for a reason, and if you turn away, the chance may not return. This is your time to step in. You may not see how much you've already changed, but heaven sees it clearly. The ache in your heart that once felt endless is softening. The loneliness that lingered for so long now feels less heavy, as if someone has lifted it piece by piece. That someone is Jesus, whose hands never grow tired, whose compassion never runs dry. He knows what you've carried, and He is still unwrapping the layers of pain that have kept you from feeling the fullness of His peace. You do not need to rush this process. It is happening in its own perfect time, and heaven has no hurry when it comes to love. Archangel Michael stands close, his presence like a gentle guard around your heart. He knows what it took for you to reach this moment, the nights of quiet crying, the strength it took to keep going when you didn't see a way forward, the courage it took to keep faith alive even when the light felt too far away. Heaven honors that kind of perseverance. Every unseen act of endurance has been recorded in eternity, and none of it was wasted. It all led you here, to this moment where heaven's peace meets your humanity and calls it beautiful. Type yes to affirm. Jesus looks at you now with eyes full of endless compassion. He doesn't see your mistakes or your fears. He sees the heart that keeps turning back toward Him, even when it trembles. He sees the love in you that still believes, even when everything around you tells you not to. That faith, small as it may feel, is precious to Him. It moves heaven. It opens doors no human hand could ever open. And it allows His light to shine through you in ways you might never recognize, but others will feel. There is something sacred about what you're becoming. You are learning to walk in trust, even when you can't see what's ahead. You are learning that faith isn't about always feeling strong, it's about leaning into God when you're weak. You are learning that healing is not about forgetting what happened, but allowing Jesus to transform your pain into something that carries meaning. Every wound that once felt like proof of your brokenness is slowly becoming a place where His glory shines through. Archangel Michael smiles, because this is what heaven hoped you would see, that the miracle isn't something you must wait for, it's something you're already living. The light that fills your heart now is not fragile. It won't fade when the days are hard or the nights feel long. It has been placed there by God Himself, and it will guide you even when everything else seems uncertain. You can rest in that truth. You can stop fighting to control the future. You can trust that whatever comes next will carry God's fingerprints all over it. You may not understand everything that has happened, and that's all right. Faith is not about understanding, it's about trust. It's about knowing, deep down, that even if you fall, His hands will catch you every time. It's about realizing that His love doesn't change with your moods, your failures, or your doubts. It's constant, eternal, and patient enough to wait for you to see yourself the way He sees you, redeemed, loved, and whole. So breathe deeply and let this peace stay. Let it fill the spaces where fear once lived. Let it move into the corners of your mind where worry used to whisper. Jesus has taken up residence in your heart, and He will not leave. This is His home now, and because He lives within you, you will never again walk through a single moment alone. The miracle continues, and heaven watches with joy, knowing that you are finally beginning to see yourself through the eyes of love. Archangel Michael says, "The light of heaven continues to grow within you, quietly weaving itself into every part of your being. It does not fade or waver, because it is not something you must hold on to with effort. It holds on to you. Jesus is near, and He is not watching you from a distance. He is here, closer than your next breath, closer than your own heartbeat. His presence is not loud or demanding, it is steady, kind, and full of peace. He is not waiting for you to speak the right words. He already understands what lives inside you, even the thoughts you never say aloud. In His gaze, there is only love, pure, gentle, unconditional love that asks for nothing except your trust. Type 777 if you walk by faith. There was a time when your heart ached from loneliness, when you felt unseen and unheard, when your prayers felt like they dissolved before reaching heaven. But every whisper, every tear, every silent plea has been gathered and treasured. None of it was lost. Jesus heard it all. He never turned away. And though you may not have seen Him then, He was there, holding you through the pain, wrapping His unseen arms around your tired soul, and whispering hope into the darkness that surrounded you. You made it through because He never let go. Archangel Michael watches this truth unfold inside you. His presence feels like stillness and safety. He does not speak in thunder, He speaks through calm. He is here to remind you that you are never unprotected. You are watched over, even when the world feels uncertain. His light stands between you and every shadow that tries to return. He does not fight with anger or noise. His power is peace. His strength is stillness. He guards you not with fear, but with love. Now, something new begins to awaken inside you. It's gentle but sure, a sense of knowing that you were created for more than just surviving. You were created to live in the fullness of God's love, to walk through this world carrying a quiet radiance that reflects heaven. You may not see it in yourself yet, but heaven does. The very light that shines from Jesus is beginning to shine through you, too. It's in your kindness, in your patience, in the way you forgive, in the way you still hope even when hope has been hard to hold. This light is your miracle taking form. You don't need to chase it. You don't need to prove it. You only need to stay open, to keep your heart soft even when the world tries to harden it again. God's love flows most easily through hearts that remain gentle, through those who choose compassion over bitterness, and faith over fear. Every time you choose love when it's difficult, you are letting heaven speak through you. Every time you choose forgiveness, you are joining Jesus in his work of healing this broken world, one act of grace at a time. Archangel Michael looks upon you with a quiet pride, not the kind born of arrogance, but of deep joy. He sees how far you've come, even when you can't. He sees the courage it took to open your heart again. And he knows what heaven knows, that this transformation is only the beginning. The miracle that started as a whisper inside you will ripple outward, touching the lives of others without you even realizing it. Your peace will become someone else's reminder that God still moves. Your love will become someone else's proof that Jesus still heals. You are not just a witness to the miracle, you are part of it now. So walk forward gently. Let the light guide you, even when you don't know where it's leading. Trust that every step is known to God, every path already blessed. There will still be days when fear tries to rise again, when pain tries to remind you of the past. But now, you will meet it differently. You will meet it with the strength of heaven within you. You will meet it with the peace that Jesus placed in your heart. You will meet it knowing that you are chosen, protected, and loved beyond measure. The miracle that began in silence is now alive in you. It breathes through your kindness, your courage, your faith. It will not fade, because it was born from eternal love. And as long as you keep walking with Jesus, nothing in this world can take it away. Type 333 to welcome blessings. Archangel Michael says, each passing moment since this miracle began has slowly opened your heart in ways only heaven could understand. You may not be able to explain it, but something within you feels different now, a stillness, a softness, a comfort that has no name yet feels more real than anything you've held before. That is what happens when Jesus moves close. He does not just visit and leave. He stays. He settles into the deepest parts of your soul and begins to rebuild what was broken, restore what was lost, and revive what felt forgotten. The world around you may not look changed, but the world inside you has shifted forever. That matters more than anything. Because now, when pain comes, you won't face it alone. When fear rises, it won't silence the peace He planted in you. That peace is growing roots now. It stretches into the places that once felt hollow and brings life back to every space that had gone cold. What you're feeling is real, and it is holy. What if I told you financial freedom is not about working harder, but activating a dormant brain signal designed to draw abundance directly to you? Neuroscience proves this sound wave unlocks prosperity faster than any method known before. From unexpected cash to life-changing success, it's already helping thousands. Imagine looking back tomorrow wishing you had acted today. Do not let regret replace the miracle that is calling you right now. Click the link in the video description and comments below to turn on the ancient money wave and create the life you've always dreamed of today. Archangel Michael remains by your side with unshakable peace. His presence is steady, never wavering, like the calm before dawn. There are no battles here, only light. And in that light, you begin to see yourself not through the eyes of past wounds or words spoken over you in hurt, but through the eyes of love itself. Jesus does not see your flaws when he looks at you. He sees your heart, your longing, your endurance, your quiet faith that kept whispering, yes, even when everything felt like, no. That is the kind of faith heaven cherishes. You do not need to wear strength like armor anymore. You are not required to pretend you're okay just to be accepted. Jesus never asked that of you. What he wants is your heart, just as it is, in whatever condition it's in today. If you feel broken, he's not afraid of it. If you feel tired, he wants to be your rest. If you feel uncertain, he will be your direction. Nothing about you is too much for him. In fact, everything about you draws him closer. And so the miracle continues, not in fireworks or grand moments, but in the way your chest feels lighter today than it did before, in the way hope has returned in small, gentle ways, in the way you now feel something holy even in the quiet. That is not your imagination. That is his spirit with you, within you, guiding your every step, holding you in ways words could never describe. Archangel Michael sees the battles you've fought just to feel this peace. He knows the loneliness you've endured, the nights you spent asking heaven if anyone even knew what you were going through. And now, here you are, wrapped in light, surrounded by grace, no longer carrying everything by yourself. That is what this miracle was always meant to do. Not to impress or dazzle, but to lift the weight from your shoulders, to remind you that you were never expected to walk alone. Jesus does not promise a life without hardship. But he does promise himself. He promises his presence through every chapter, his strength when yours runs out, and his love that stays no matter how many times you question your worth. His love does not walk away when you're weak. It draws closer. It fights for you. It holds you when the world does not understand how tired you are. And now that you've felt that love, truly felt it, it will stay with you. Nothing can separate you from it. Type 1212 if you believe God is guiding you. Let the light inside you remain open. Let it flow into your thoughts, your words, your relationships, your choices. Let it change the way you see the world and the way you see yourself. This is not just a temporary feeling. This is a beginning. A new chapter in your walk with Jesus. One where you stop running from pain and begin walking through it with him. One where you stop questioning your place in God's heart because now you've felt it for yourself. You are chosen. You are known. You are loved with a depth that has no end. And nothing, no past, no fear, no failure, can take that from you. The miracle has begun, and it is now your story, written not in the sky, but in the quiet beating of your heart that now knows it is never, ever alone. Archangel Michael says, "The light within you continues to spread gently, not as a sudden burst but as a slow sunrise touching every hidden part of your heart. You might not notice the changes right away, but heaven does. The heaviness you carried for so long has started to lift, not because the weight itself disappeared, but because Jesus is carrying it with you now. This is how His love works. It does not always remove the burden, but it makes it light enough for you to walk again. It gives strength where there was weakness, and it brings peace where confusion once ruled. You have been chosen for this sacred unfolding, not because you were stronger or wiser than others, but because your heart was open, even if just a little. That small opening was enough for heaven to step through. Jesus does not need perfection, He only needs permission. And now that you have allowed Him to come close, He is working quietly within you, shaping your soul into something softer, steadier, and more full of grace than it has ever been before. Archangel Michael stands watch with deep reverence. His gaze is filled with peace, for he knows how precious this kind of transformation is. It cannot be forced, and it cannot be faked. It happens only when a soul surrenders enough to let God love it freely. You have done that, even if you didn't realize it. Every moment you whispered a quiet, "Help me," every time you kept walking when your strength was gone, every time you chose kindness when bitterness seemed easier, those were all small doors through which heaven entered. The world often celebrates loud victories, but heaven rejoices in quiet faith. Jesus delights in your quiet faith, the kind that doesn't demand signs, the kind that keeps holding on even when it doesn't understand. That kind of faith moves mountains, not around you, but inside you. It changes the way you see the world. It teaches you that you are not powerless, that your hope is not fragile, and that your life still carries divine purpose no matter how lost you felt. There is a gentle whisper in your soul now, not from your own thoughts but from the Spirit of God. It tells you that you are safe, that you are loved, and that everything you've been through has meaning. Even the moments that broke you have become sacred ground, because they brought you here, to the place where God could meet you in truth, not pretense. You don't have to hide anymore. You don't have to pretend to be fine. Heaven already knows your heart, and it still calls you beloved. Archangel Michael watches the light strengthen within you. It grows every time you forgive. It deepens every time you choose peace over anger. It expands every time you choose compassion when you could have turned away. This is how God's miracle works. It makes your heart resemble His more and more. You might think your choices are small, but to heaven, they are echoes of eternity. Every act of love creates ripples that touch lives you may never meet. Every prayer whispered in faith moves something unseen but powerful. Type 888 to open doors of abundance. Jesus stands before you now, not as a distant king but as a friend who knows every part of you. His hands still bear the marks of love, proof that your life has always been worth dying for. And as He looks at you, He does not see sin or failure, He sees possibility. He sees the reflection of heaven's goodness that has always been a part of you. The miracle is that you are beginning to see it too. Slowly, gently, your heart is learning to believe what God has always known, that you are precious beyond measure. So breathe deeply and rest in this truth. You do not have to strive anymore. You do not have to earn your way to peace. It is already yours. The world may not understand the quiet joy that begins to bloom inside you, but that's because this miracle was never meant to be shared in words, it was meant to be lived. You will carry it everywhere you go, and it will touch others through your calm, your kindness, your light. The transformation is not complete yet, but that is the beauty of it. God's work in you is ongoing. Each day brings new mercy, new healing, and new strength. You are not who you were when this began, and you will never be that person again. Heaven has touched your life, and that touch will remain forever. Archangel Michael says, "This journey you are on, this unfolding miracle within your heart, is not something that will vanish with time or fade with the passing of days. It is alive now. It is sacred, and it is permanent. The moment Jesus stepped into your spirit, something eternal took root. You may still face moments of fear, you may still have days when you feel small or unsure, but the truth remains unchanged. You have been touched by the hands of God, and nothing will ever separate you from that love again. Jesus walks with you now in a closeness so real that your soul begins to respond in ways you can't always explain. You might feel a deep calm when you should be afraid. You might feel comfort without knowing why. You might cry without warning, not because of sadness, but because something inside you recognizes that you are no longer walking through life alone. That quiet awareness, that peace that now shows up in places where pain once lived, is Him. That's the miracle. Archangel Michael moves softly beside you, guarding the light that has begun to shine brighter each day. You are being held more than you realize, protected not just from the storms around you but also from the thoughts that used to shake you from within. Those thoughts, the ones that told you you were not enough, that no one cared, that God was far away, are losing their grip now. Not because you fought them off alone, but because truth is settling into your soul. The truth that you are fully known, fully seen, and still fully loved. Jesus did not come into this world to only speak to saints and sit with the flawless. He came for the wounded, the weary, the forgotten, and the lost. He came for you, exactly as you are right now, not a more polished version of you, not a more perfect one, but the real you, the one that has fought silent battles and cried in the dark, hoping God had not forgotten. And He hasn't, He never did. You are not forgotten, and you are not alone. You are being pursued by a love so deep it cannot be measured, and right now, in this moment, that love is reaching for you through these very words. That's why you cannot skip this message. That's why your angel stirred your heart just enough to open this now, because this is your reminder that heaven has not let go of you. It never will. What if 7 minutes could rewrite your financial future forever? This hidden frequency, backed by neuroscience, flips the brain's natural wealth switch, unleashing unstoppable prosperity. People are calling it the money magnet sound, and it's already transforming lives. But hesitation means missing out while others move ahead. This is your moment to act. Click the link in the video description and comments below to awaken the wealth inside you today before the chance slips away. Sometimes, the enemy will whisper lies that you are too broken, too late, too far gone. But heaven shouts louder. Heaven speaks truth into the very places those lies tried to take root. The truth is, God can restore anything. The truth is, Jesus specializes in raising what the world calls dead and hopeless. The truth is, nothing in your life is wasted when you place it in the hands of God. Your scars, your pain, your regrets, He gathers every piece and gently begins to weave a story that is not only beautiful, but holy. Type 1919 to embrace healing. This moment is not an accident. You are not reading this by coincidence. You were meant to see this today, because your spirit is being called into a new chapter. You are being invited into a deeper connection with Jesus, one that doesn't ask you to be perfect, but asks you to be willing. Willing to trust Him again. Willing to open your heart again. Willing to believe that even now, God is still able to do more than you could ever imagine. The angels of the Lord have surrounded you for longer than you know, shielding you in ways you'll never fully see on this side of heaven. Archangel Michael stands not as a distant figure of myth, but as a warrior of light assigned to protect what God has placed within you. That's why this message matters. That's why heaven is insisting that you don't look away. There is something unfolding in the spiritual realm, something powerful, and your name is written upon it. A promise is being activated, and your faith is the key that will open the door. Do not turn away, listen until the final word, for heaven has chosen this moment for you. This isn't just a message. This is a holy moment. And as you breathe it in, let it settle deep into your heart. You are loved, you are seen, you are chosen, and you are not forgotten. The God who created the stars knows your name and holds every tear you've cried. Jesus is not a distant Savior but a present healer, and He is walking with you even now, preparing to show you beauty where you only saw ashes, and joy where you once only felt sorrow.